Frank J. of Elle with the contending. Newcomer Inga Ibsdotter Lilleaas delivers an extraordinary performance in Joachim Trier's Sentimental Value, which is Norway's international feature submission. I am pleased to be speaking with her today. Welcome, Inga.
Thank you.
Inga, firstly, congratulations on a stunning performance.
Thank you so much.
So you're on the cusp of awards season. How does it feel to be in the conversation?
I mean, it's surreal. It's surreal to even be like seeing my name on the lists of the stuff, you know? That's crazy. I don't know how to I can't explain it better. It's just surreal.
Well, I think it's incredibly deserved. So tell me about being cast in the film and what drew you to want to play Agnes.
I mean, I got a call from the casting director asking me to come in and do like a first audition. And I did that, and then it took a little while because I went away to work, and then I got to have a meeting with Joachim, which was great, and got to know him a little. And I did a test with Renata, and then we had some more auditions with some other actors and some more conversations with Joachim, which was great. And I really loved the script. It was like reading a novel, you know. It was really rich, and the character was very intriguing, and so I definitely wanted to do it. And I would have done anything, to be honest, if he had asked. So, but luckily, I really liked this character and it was a great experience.
Well, I mean, it's there's such an authentic sibling relationship. Can you speak a little bit about establishing that bond? Now, you and Renata, you've worked together before?
Yes, like we did children's theater together 10 years ago, a couple of summers in a tent in the city where she's from. So we had that experience, but we haven't really seen much of each other in the meantime. So it was great to get to work together in a different sort of environment and a different, like in movies and not in theater, because that it's two very different things. But I think it was kind of interesting to have that experience with her, very childlike experience, to have that like foundation to work from, you know. And I think we had rehearsals and we met and with Joachim and we talked about the characters and we talked about family and our families and our relationships within our families, and but we didn't really do anything specific. But I think like having had that time and when we met again, it was really just it felt very effortless in a way. I think we work kind of in a similar way. We like to just be present and feed off the other actor. And we both have sisters, so we know sort of what that's like, and it's in the body in a way. So it was sort of easy to just let the body speak, sort of, and out of it grew like a very nice chemistry out of that, I think.
Very much so. And I really appreciated, there didn't seem to be this traditional antagonistic sibling rivalry that you always see. There is tremendous love there.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I felt. Like this character of Agnes, she really loves her sister. She admires her and she's proud of her. And there's no like yeah, that's what it's there's no like bad blood between them. They have like difficulties in their communication, and there's definitely things they're very different and they have such different sort of ideas about what their childhood was like, more or less. But I really love that the movie's not focused on any conflict between them. It's more the conflict between the father and the daughters, but not in a speculative way, you know? It's more, this is what life is, and it's difficult to be in a family. It's difficult to love someone, especially that love, that first love, like sibling love or parent child love is it's the foundation of the rest of your life, and it's really, really complicated.
Yeah, it's interesting when Nora takes the vase. I thought that spoke volumes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like it could have been, I think Agnes just she laughs it off because she knows her sister and she knows that there's no she doesn't have like like a bad there's nothing mean behind it, or it's not selfishness. It's just she sometimes needs her sister to point things out for her. And it's sort of a nice thing as well, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, for me, the most remarkable scene in the film is when Agnes visits Nora near the end,
Yeah,
and I mean, one of the most I'm tearing up thinking about it because it was one of the most authentic sibling embraces I think I've ever seen on screen.
yeah. Oh, it really felt like that. It felt like because it was not scripted, the hug, and so I did it on sort of an impulse, helped by Joachim because I was scared to do it, and because he saw us, he was sort of, I think he could see us. He wasn't looking at the monitor, so I think he also, because he's so present with us, that he felt that impulse. Um, and while I was thinking, oh, I want to hug her, but I don't want to ruin the scene, you know.
Yeah.
He said, go hug her. And then I did that, and it felt so satisfying, you know, to get to hug her. And I just felt like I had to say I love you, which in Norwegian is a very strong, we don't say that as you guys say I love you a lot easier, I think. Because in Norwegian that phrase is very reserved for like your husband when you get married in a way. I feel it's not something that people say. Maybe now more, but at least traditionally not so much. So I was kind of, it could have, it could easily have gotten to be a little bit too much, you know, but it was really what I felt in the moment, that this is what I would want my sister to know in this moment, you know, this is what I feel. And I want Renata or Nora to feel it. And it was so nice. And then Renata's so in character, and she said, likewise, I think, which is so typical, I feel, of her character to like immediately not be able to be present in the inner emotions. But then she, because I think of the hug and because of the situation we're in, the character through Renata is able to sort of grow in the moment, which is just exceptional, I think.
Oh yeah, it's extraordinary. And it's funny you talk about how strong "I love you" is in Norwegian because I watching the film, it reminded me a little bit of Bergman's work because there's so much that goes unspoken between the characters.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe just because there's so much that's unsaid, when you all of a sudden have this outbursts of verbal emotion, it's uh it's very effectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also love there's a very non-cliche presentation of the sibling who is an artist and the sibling who started out as an artist as a young child but is now chosen a more traditional future.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I think, you know, I think Agnes chose her life very, very deliberately. I think we spoke a lot about that, Joachim and I, that she got into this relationship, and in the beginning it was kind of difficult because she had sort of this some similar ways of dealing with intimacy and relationships that Nora has, but meeting her husband, he sort of called her out on it, and they had this sort of argument maybe, or like a point in their relationship where they confronted each other and where they got to actually move forward, and she evolved through that. And I think that it's very deliberate, and that she wants what Nora talks about, or what her father writes about in the script, and what Nora reads, that she wants a home, she wants that, and she's been able to get that. And that's because she had her sister growing up, and she's a more stable, grounded person just because of that.
I'm guessing there was a lengthy rehearsal process.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we didn't rehearse every day, but we did rehearse through from May to July. No, May and June. And then we started shooting in August. We had like a break, summer break. But we did go through all the scenes with all the actors, and most of the locations. So we would do the rehearsals in the house for the scenes in the house, and the scenes in my apartment were there, and the scenes in Nora's apartment were there. So we got to like have this sort of physical memory of the places as well, which I thought was really nice. And it really helps build this feeling that you own the place, you know?
Yeah, and let's talk about the house because the house felt like another character in the film.
Yeah, yeah, it's very present, and it is because she writes this essay about it, and starts the whole movie starts with this house having sort of this imagined life and presence in their life, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like the house is different for Agnes and Nora. So for Agnes, it's a home, it's a sort of a constant in her life, a protector in a way. And for Nora, it's almost the opposite. So it's interesting how a home can be so different for the two people growing up at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, very, very, and when Agnes confronts her father, to me, she was always really tentative around him, but then when it came to her son, she
Yeah.
needed to speak up.
Yeah, I think she's very scared to lose him. So she's very scared to do anything or say anything that will drive him away. That's why she sort of can't stand up for Nora when she needs her to, in the moment in the birthday scene where she maybe needed her to step up, and instead she can't, or Agnes can't, because she's so scared that the conflict will drive him away. But then when I think she realizes that he really is so like boundaryless. Is that even a word? With her.
Yes.
Yeah, when he um just takes her son to be in his movie. And I think that's because she has this experience of being in one of his movies, which was a great experience for her in one way. And she realizes that actually it's kind of a traumatic experience because he he sort of used her, and he used her love for him and how she would do anything for him and to be in his presence and to have his attention the way that an actor, or especially maybe a child actor, has from their director, you know. So she would have done anything, and of course she's great in it. But and to him that's like one of his favorite memories with her, but for her it's probably uh probably not, because he just disappeared after that. You know, he went away and he cut the movie and promoted it, and then he left, you know.
Yeah.
So I just think she really doesn't want her son to have that experience, and having become a mother, she's able to advocate for herself through her son in a way.
Could you speak a bit about working with Stellan, who is tremendous in this film, and also your process? Like, are you an actor who, can once you hear cut, I can get out of the role and go home and blah, 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 or do you take it home with you?
I think I don't take it. I mean, you take home because you have had an experience, and those are real emotions, so you can't just turn off and on that way, you know. But I'm not confused as to who am I and who's the character, you know. That's not real to me. But I definitely feel after a day, like when I did the confrontation scene with Stellan, that's definitely a day I go home and I feel really exhausted, but in a good way. It's a good feeling because it's sort of liberating to get to confront someone and be angry and to express the anger. We don't do that so much, you know, so it's a good feeling, but it is exhausting. Because of to feel so much, you know, and to go into these emotions because you put a lot of yourself into it, even though it's not um specific stuff, you know, that I use in any way. But it does remind my body of something, and I don't necessarily know what that is. It's like subconscious stuff, but it's definitely like brings up a lot of feelings and emotions in the body, that are mine, you know.
Yeah.
And working with Stellan was great. He's a great guy and very loving, calm. person. And it was just wonderful. He's so present and he doesn't, he's very professional and he works really, really hard and he's always on set. So he doesn't leave and go sit in his trailer. He likes to be there. And so that's very nice because then you feel like you're just in it together in a way, and you're present all the time. And yeah, he's not that type of actor who will just decide how he wants it, and then he'll do the scene, and you just have to sort of go along with it. He will sort of listen and be affected by what you do, which is the best part of acting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and you've been predominantly a stage actress. You have some film credits. Do you enjoy both mediums?
I do. I feel like I did a lot of like movies in my earlier career. So I sort of started, I studied theater, sort of theater acting, although it wasn't like specified, but it was a physical theater school. So it was more like very expressive in a way. And so I got to do some movies and that was really nice because sort of felt like that was the way I like to work really fits with that sort of expression. And then I've done theater. And I've also been a theater teacher, more or less, a guest lecturer. Um, and I think like it's just different, like you turn it up and down in a way. Because on stage you have to sort of project more and it's bigger, but you have different like you can do more in a way because you're not so confined to like realism that sometimes movies can be. But at the same time, movies really, or the camera really captures the thoughts of the actor, which stage doesn't in a way. And I really like that working in that smaller, more precise, specific way, and not having to like project everything.
This film in particular, because your director, my God, his use of the close-ups. It's like a
Yeah,
silent film almost, where
yeah. I think that's lovely because I really love watching movies when I feel like I can peek into someone's brain in a way. And that's really thrilling, I think. And to have so little said, but so much seen in a way, it's special.
and it's got to be jarring because you're concentrating on your craft and your acting, and then all of a sudden you're at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
What is that like?
That was just a whirlwind, I think. It was surreal and it was exciting, but there was a lot, it was a lot of press and we did a lot of these things. And then the premiere happened and we were there and you don't get to think so much, while you're there. It's because everything goes really quickly. So all of a sudden we were there in the premiere and people were clapping and I had this feeling that they were clapping for a long time, but I didn't have like a feeling of how long. So that was also absurd. Like you could have like that long of an applause, but it was wonderful. It feels really good that you make something that you actually feel is personal and you put your whole heart and soul into it, and then people appreciate it. That's what you want. So that's a great feeling.
Well, and then you got that love in Cannes, and then you came here to New York, and
Yeah.
there was it was a similar kind of love for the film.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel so lucky to get to meet so many people who've seen the movie and to talk to them right after often, because I think this movie makes a lot of people very emotional and very open, and so they're more inclined to share a lot of personal things from their lives and with their families, and they want to share it. It's like I think they feel like they're in a space where that's sort of welcomed, and it is, it's very nice here to hear how we're so similar, how like we can be from totally different places and cultures, and we just relate to our parents and our siblings in completely the same way. So that's very nice.
It's very, very true. I have to ask you about A Beautiful Life because I watched it a couple of nights ago. And it's a wonderful film, and it's interesting because both Sentimental Value and A Beautiful Life are about famous absent fathers. It's an interesting connection there.
Yeah, I haven't thought of it, but that's true. That's true. I think it's really interesting that how your parents affect you and like how that affects a character. I think that's interesting to explore because it's like the fundament of a person's whole life, you know?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
really important.
very very much so. And I could relate to it
Yeah.
on that level as well. But about A Beautiful Life, great chemistry with Christopher. Was What was that experience like?
That was great. It was a great shoot. We had a lot of fun. He's really funny and nice and uh yeah, it was a wonderful few weeks in Aarhus in Denmark. I got to speak Danish. I had to learn. I didn't speak Danish before, so that was kind of thrilling and scary. Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice experience.
I wanted to ask you what's up next for Inga. What can we see you in coming up?
Well, I don't know because I'm just free for to do this that I'm doing now until Christmas, and then maybe I have some stuff that I'm doing later, but nothing like set in stone yet. So we'll see.
Well, I look forward to whatever it is you do next because it's a lovely performance, really lovely.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me.
Thank you for having me.